What's going on, guys? So I am here at Ron Hoover RV and Marine in Rockport, Texas, and we're going to take a look at a Flagstaff super light travel trailer. They are some really nice travel trailers and they have a lot of really interesting attributes to them. So hang tight, I'll be right back. So today we're going to look at this Flagstaff 29 RSWS. This is a travel trailer. Flagstaff travel trailers are generally considered to be among the higher end of travel trailers. There's a lot of really great characteristics to like about them, including some technology that you're starting to see more in travel trailers that before you could only get on fifth wheels, such as drop frame technology, auto leveling systems, extra awnings, frameless windows. A lot of really nice things are now being included on your higher end travel trailers, again, that traditionally you could only get on fifth wheels in the past. One of the first things I want to point out is something a lot of people don't think about when they're looking at RVs with slides, and that is the slide depth. So there are all sorts of slide depths to consider when you're looking at RVs. Let's look at these two RVs next to each other first so you can kind of see a comparison of the three most common slide depths. First of all, when you look at this slide right here, you can see it only comes off of the side of this travel trailer about 14 inches. So this is a relatively shallow slide. These slides are generally going to be wardrobe slides. These are where you will see on the inside cabinetry and things to store clothing. That's generally not always the case because they can really turn it into whatever they want, but that's generally what you're going to see these shorter or shallower depth slides used for. Here is a slide that is 2 feet deep. So this comes out off the side of the RV 2 feet. You will generally see this for your kitchen slide. So your refrigerator, your microwave, your countertops for your kitchens, this is generally going to be the most common in that area. Again, they can use it for whatever they want, but 9 out of 10 times it's usually going to be the kitchen slide. And one way you can tell is you can see the back of your refrigerator right there, and that kind of indicates where the kitchen is on a travel trailer, fifth wheel, or even a motorhome. Here is your full depth slide. This is a 3 foot deep slide, and you can definitely see the difference between these two slides. And if I back up even further, you can probably see the difference on all three slides. So again, that one's about 14 inches, 2 feet, and 3 feet. This is usually what you're going to see in the living room area or the dining room area to make the interior much larger. So these are the typical types of slides you would see on most travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Now, the difference in slide technology is also going to vary from slide to slide and manufacturer to manufacturer. This slide up here uses this Schwintek slide system, which is a track system. It has motors on each side, which essentially pull the slide in using the tracks. These slides both use rack and pinion. Rack and pinion are where you see the teeth on these long boxed metal beams coming out underneath, and it has a gear that pulls the slide in. That's my favorite slide system because, in my opinion, it's the most reliable and the most robust overall. But you can see the difference in the slide systems between Schwintek and a rack and pinion. So I just wanted to point that out before we dive a little bit deeper into the details of this 29 RSWS. So again, some of the technology you're starting to see on these higher end travel trailers is technology that was very convenient for people looking at fifth wheels, but it was very difficult to find. For instance, in the travel trailer market, to have drop frames is relatively new. Drop frame simply means that they attach a beam underneath the main I-beam, which you can see here. And that beam is used to provide you significantly more storage in your basement storage area. So traditionally, this amount of storage would really only be something you'd see on most fifth wheels. This gives you roughly 2.5 feet height of clearance, and it's about 3.5 feet wide. So you have a lot of storage in here. This has a 50 amp cable, which means it's going to have dual air conditioning units. This right here off of the side is where you can hang things like a barbecue grill or other things that you might want to hang off of the side. It's kind of an accessory rail, which is pretty cool. Has the Moride step above step system. This is a flip out step system. Something else that's becoming more and more common and is very indicative of Flagstaff and a lot of other manufacturers now is to put this front windshield on. Looks beautiful, but I don't really know what the cost would be to replace it if it gets hit by a rock. You have 2 batteries up front, which is really nice, in the A-frame. You have a docking light control here. Let's look at the numbers on this unit. So this has a relatively heavy 9,700 pound gross vehicle weight rating, and it has a cargo capacity of 1,547 pounds. It rides on 225/75 rated tires, and it has twin 4,400 pound axles. So when you talk about the total axle weight to the total gross vehicle weight, you're looking at 8,800 pounds worth of axle capacity, 9,700 pounds worth of total weight. If you load it up with all your cargo, you're going to have roughly 1,500 pounds transferred to the truck, so the axle capacity on this unit is appropriate for the weight of this unit. Again, you can see the Schwintek slide system over here. Because you have that huge storage on the other side, you're not going to have that here. Instead, you're going to have this little hatch, which is essentially the area that you would access your water pump and your filter in the event it needs to be serviced. Plus, you have your city water connections as well as your flush tank. So this is where you would connect your water hose to flush out the black tank. That's the back of your hot water heater. You can see they've labeled everything above where the connections are. Your freshwater drain, your gray water holding tank sewer outlet connection. Right here is another tank flush. So that's cool. You have 2 tank flushes on this specific unit and an outside shower. All frameless windows. So something that's also interesting about Flagstaff is the fact that they utilize torsion axles. So this does not have your traditional leaf-sprung axle system with a equalizer in between. This is going to use a torsion suspension system. Let's take a closer look. So here is the torsion axle system. Essentially what it is you have these 4 rubber beads that go into the main axle tube, and in between it you're going to have this square axle tube system, and it presses up against those 4 rubber beads that surround it, and it acts as your suspension system. Now, a lot of people wonder why this isn't more common on other types of travel trailers and fifth wheels, why you don't see this on a lot of them, except if you go to a much higher end DRV or some of the optional packages that you can get on your higher end models. One of the reasons for this is whenever you have this type of axle and suspension setup, you really need to make sure that you're towing your RV perfectly level. Mainly because without the leaf sprung equalizer, you lose the ability to equalize the weight across both axles. So in order to carry the weight properly across both axles, you need to be sure that you have a perfectly level setup whenever you're towing it. So that's very important. Here's the bottom of the slide system. Again, rack and pinion slide. This rides on an 8-inch I-beam frame. Coming around to the back, you have your 50 amp connection, cable satellite hookup, all LED lighting, and it is wired for a Furrion wireless backup camera. What's also unique is they provide this hard plastic cover for the spare tire. It's actually the first time I've seen that. Over here, coming off of this slide, you'll see you have a propane connection. This also has an outside kitchen with a sink and a small micro refrigerator. So you have a really convenient way of cooking while you're outside. You have a little storage door right there as well, which accesses some unused space that would normally be dead on the inside of the coach. And I like that they do that, plus some outdoor speakers above the outside kitchen. And there's your second awning. All right, let's take a look inside of this 29 RS WS. On the door, you'll see this has a dry weight of 8,094 pounds. So even empty, this is a relatively heavy travel trailer. So this is the interior. It is a rear living room floor plan. Has a lot of space. So they didn't put an island here, and that really opens up this space. If you are looking for an island, then this might be disappointing to you. But if you don't need the island and you're okay with the countertop space here, as well as the flip-up countertop space here, which is all Corian, which is nice, then this might be for you. Lots of open area right here, with the 2 opposing slides having the 3-foot deep full extension slide, as well as the 2-foot deep slide for the kitchen and the sofa. Just check that out. That is huge. A lot of space. And they even give you more countertop space here to the side of the cooktop. You have your Dometic gas electric refrigerator, wide view fireplace, extra storage right here. On the back side of this door, which is still very deep, is where that outside storage access is. Then you have your TV in here, looks to be a 40-inch TV. That folds out into a bed. You have your theater seating. I like that they place the cup holders side by side. It gives you a little bit more seating and arm space when you're sitting down. Nice end tables. I even like the valances. They use nice valances in this. Ceiling height in here is going to be about 6'7", so you can be pretty tall and fit in here. Plus you have a booth style dinette. This converts into a bed, plus more storage underneath, cabinetry above. Again, you can just see how deep this slide is compared to this slide. And you can see what that allows you in terms of interior space. Kitchen with the microwave directly above the sink. That's actually a pretty nice setup right here. With this up, you have a pretty good amount of countertop space. So you're not sacrificing a lot of space by not having the island. You are sacrificing some space in terms of countertop space, but you get some of it back. And this also pulls out. So that is what your kitchen setup would look like. I think it's a fair amount of countertop space. I'd love to know what you all think. Coming to the back, here is your control panel for your slides and lighting, water heater, and all of that. Coming inside here, you can see that you have quite a good sized bathroom. I mean, it's not small. You have plenty of room in front of the toilet. You definitely have enough countertop space here, off to the side. Nice medicine cabinet. Typically, you have to struggle with the size of shower you get in travel trailers, and this is a pretty good sized stall. You can be upwards of about 6'3" to fit comfortably in there. You have your wardrobe slide here, which is going to be that shallower slide. And then you have a queen size bed. Have about 14 inches of space on this side. You're going to have about 16 inches of space on the other side. Plus, you have about 4 feet of headroom between the mattress and the bottom of the cabinets. And then you have your second air conditioning system up front here as well. Very nice. Plus a place to hang your TV, power it, and provide cable connection. So this Flagstaff is going to have an MSRP of right under $50,000, $49,819. You could probably expect to pay about 15 grand less than that. So one of these, getting into it's probably going to be more in the $34,000, $35,000 price range. But you definitely want to give Ron Hoover a call if you feel this is something you might be interested in and see what kind of deal they can work out for you. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.